Welcome to Key West, Florida in June of 2023. Hey everyone, I'm Patrick from Oakland Travel, and there you see the Serenade of the Seas, the only ship in port. And it's been like that now since actually March of 2020 when everything shut down because of the pandemic. And Key West has undergone a very strange turn of events since the spring of 2020, because what happened was once the ships stopped coming, the local residents of Key West across the summer of 2020 started to notice, quote unquote, that the water around Key West was a lot clearer because the ships were not there turning up all of the silt and all of the, stuff on the bottom of the, down there, right, whenever the ships were coming and going. And so you fast forward from that summer to the fall of 2020, you got a major election coming up, and a certain faction of business owners and influentials in Key West, I'm going to call them that, basically managed to get a ballot initiative on the November 2020 ballot for the local city of Key West to ban cruise ships above a certain size and several other limitations and so on and so on. And so they passed the local ordinance, and there was a lot of hemming and hawing about it because a lot of the business owners, of the small business owners, were against it. And so you had people on one side of the issue, people on the other side of the issue, etc. So the ordinance passed in November, but then the state of Florida stepped in and said, nope. And they actually passed a law a few months later in the spring of 2021, because the legislative session every year in Florida happens in the spring. So a few months go by after the referendum in November of 2020, and you get into the spring of 2021, the legislative session happens, and they pass a law at the state of Florida level that basically prevented a little town like Key West from being able to pass an ordinance that would affect like maritime traffic or something like that. I forgot exactly the way the law was worded. But the state of Florida stepped in and said no. And then you've sort of reached this weird little stalemate since then. And this area right here where the Serenade of the Seas is located is called Pier B. And it's actually privately owned. And so the city of Key West can't really do anything about it because of the state of Florida had stepped in and stopped them from being able to ban ships at all. And so what has happened since then is Pier B is the only pier that accepts cruise ships, because the other locations down here are either controlled by the government, like the federal government, where the Navy base is, a little bit to the left of where the Serenade of the Seas is right here on the screen, or back over where Mallory Square is. That one is owned by the city of Key West. And so they can prevent ships from docking there, and that's what they've done ever since all of this little brouhaha has happened. And so what you're left with as of the time that I am recording this and you're hearing my voice is that Pier B is the only dock in Key West that can accept a cruise ship. And it can only accept a cruise ship of a certain size, because if the ship is too big, it'll either run aground or it'll actually extrude or protrude into the Navy base back there behind the Serenade.